believe we are live. So I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again on another conscious evolution. Another moment for us to talk about self regulation, at least for today. The fact that I had to regulate myself into being in this moment. The fact that you have, out of the infinite options you've had in this world, past, present, and potentially future, you could be watching this in the future, chosen to regulate yourself into this moment. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining me, for finding yourself in this space. I'm going to quickly get my other phone. Within my attempt to self regulate, I spaced out. Forgot one of them. We've been trying to double live stream again on another space called LiveSpace, which is supposed to be a new streaming platform by creators for creators. But I'm skeptical if it's actually gonna be good enough, when it comes to the technologies. Let me see. I haven't gotten an invite to the beta for that yet. You're still waiting? Have you sent like the invites out? I'm also kind of like up in the air for how I feel about it. All right. I don't know how much effort is being put into it. I guess they have a team. Maxine, Kristen, I'm talking to you, but I haven't said hi properly. Hi, dear friend. We have Shannon and Nana here as well, sending all of you lovin's. I was just wondering if LiveSpace stream was working or not. Yeah, phone is still booting up. Burp. Beep, 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 beep. Not that one. Let's get it going. Sorry for me being less than present. There we go. It's working this time. Melt self regulates. Regulatus. Yeah. I'm capable of self-regulating, it seems. Especially so if I'm sober, I found. And I've been trying to be. And it's been different. Like it's this joke of this story we tell ourselves. Hey, I see Duck Dead and Maxine. No, Joy Vive. I've already said hi to Maxine. Nancy as well, though. Sending all of you love, and it's nice having you. Loizana here as well. So yeah, my mind is running multiple tangents. The tangent that was starting to open up the tab, right, running in the background right now, is this idea I had in how I'm going to feel if I'm not smoking, right? And the state of mind I believed I was going to be able to occupy. And it has come, right? In large part, I feel like there's a sheer amount of willpower that is coming back into my life, and I'm trying to do more things because of that willpower. But at the same time, I'm not any happier, right? Like there is no difference in my baseline happiness. I'm not more happy not smoking, but I'm also not less happy not smoking, right? It's like this experience of I'm still the same person, right? Like, and you're like, what point are you trying to make? Within self-regulation, right? Going through the process of self-regulating, it is going to probably be difficult. And if we try to self-regulate from this perspective that, okay, I'm going to self-regulate, and then by self-regulating, my life is going to be so much better. It probably will be, but unless you change the story, unless you self-regulate the internal narrative that's going on, more so than the external activities you're actively busy with, there is no difference, right? And I do believe I've reached the level of mental stability in large part where I know what it is I'm doing, right? And I guess the biggest thing for me still is just time frames, knowing what it is I want to be doing, and then tripping out about it not happening fast enough. I've been talking to friends about starting a new business, going down to Cape Town, and potentially running it from there. And today I went into the fractal of actually looking at housing prices, and I realized, oh my, it's going to be a lot harder than I anticipated. Things are so expensive down there. It's like the most European city we have, and they have European rent prices as well, unfortunately, it seems. So, doing the things. Good morning, amazing humans and AI melt. How did you know? Codes breaks because I've always have no doubts on his no AI-ness. I mean, if I'm AI, like you have to give me some credit for being able to AI this well, dude. Like I can AI my beard growth slowly but surely. Why do I give myself pimples as this AI? Like it pisses me off that I'm 25 and I still actively get pimples. You know, like I was like convinced that when I'm become an adult, I won't have to deal with pimples anymore. And still, week after week, month after month, I'm still struggling, yo. And I'm like washing my face. I'm doing the things I'm supposed to be doing. Still wrecked. So much wrecked. So I feel like, yeah, give me some credit, dude. Yes, yo, like I'm doing well for this AI, rendering little blemishes onto my own. I'm going down, too far down the rabbit hole. Again, love to you, Joy Vive. Shan, every time you say Maxine, I think of that scene from RuPaul's Drag Race. I don't think I've seen that one. Did you have a nice holiday? I definitely do not self-regulate sober. I need the weeds. Apparently, I'm more capable of self-regulating when I'm sober. At least that's what I'm learning about myself. Because I'm so agitated that I need to regulate myself. Otherwise, I'll just, sit and explode. Just spontaneously combust. I'm like, oh, nice. I'm sober and I'm sitting down. Lights on fire. This is fine. So I have to keep like doing things, keep going places. It's been an interesting energy to kind of try and deal with. And you have a nice holiday. I hope so. Thank you for asking, Nancy. How about you, dear friend? Probably need some self-regulation. All of us can use more of it sometimes. The Women's Gardening Club is coming today to pick up my donations for their upcoming plant sale. 20 less plants to keep alive, and this garden group can raise funds for their abundance creating. Thank you, Brother Duck Dad, for manifesting good stuff into other people's lives as well, man. It means more than I can say. Going to be 33 degrees Celsius. Feel like a camel today, I guess. Yeah, that's getting up there, for hotness. Good luck to you. Like it's coldish. It's like what's the temperature? It's 22 degrees Celsius right now. It's supposed to be winter. 22 degrees Celsius. Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. I'm in short sleeves, and it's like 1/4 into winter, essentially. Still vibing. So much vibes. Nice video doing plans, right? I'm sorry to hear that. Wait, when is he? I'm doing all right, better each day. Sorry to hear that. Happy to hear that. Did you get your package? I'm doing all right. A little tired. Woke up at 3 a.m. and couldn't fall back asleep, but I'm here. How about that, Shan? It's kind of weird the fact that you also just randomly woke up much earlier than you anticipated to. I wonder what that is. Hey, universe, what's happening? Only answer I'm getting is energy. Energy. What does that mean? Dude, I'm 42 and get pimples. No, Krista. This suckage. Why? Why human skin? Why sebum cells? Why you got a sebum? Oh, why you got a malfunctions? Come on, dude. Come on, please. Come, stop. Skin is. I mean, I love my skin. I know, it's like my protective barrier to the outside world. But damn, dude, why you gonna be like that? Why you gonna be like that? Sorry to hear. Love is true, man. We're on the no sleep train. You as well, Sam? How about that? Not yet, Sam. I'm assuming it's gonna show up today. Per the holiday yesterday, yeah, probably. Can you try and line up yoga teaching before you move there? Line up the monies first. That's what I'm trying to do. Weirdly enough, actually, Duck Dad, there's like a job that I'm like thinking about. It's paying like $1,000 a month, and they want a yoga teacher. And I have all of the stuffs. I don't have 2 years of teaching experience, but I think I can get away with telling them that I don't have 2 years of teaching experience, but I have 1 year of consecutive daily teaching experience. And I have certifications, and I have like a CPR certificate as well. For some reason, I need that. If someone freaking knocks out and I have to CPR them during yoga, that's gonna be much worse than anything I can imagine. But yeah, weirdly enough, I am actually thinking about that. I'm also thinking about maybe like creating more content on this like website called Burn. There we go, live again. Imagine YouTube for yoga. And they have like a subscription-based system for like clients of like corporations, of like um, insurance. Like if you actually follow your Burnalong account, you can get like better insurance. And then people just like subscribing as like a service. And then depending on how many people actually use your yoga videos, you get like a cut of that capital. So yeah, I'm running the fractals of how to make more capital. I'm gonna need so much fucking money. I need $1,000 a month just for rent if I want to live there. I don't make even half that right now, right? So, and like it's been like my time frame to move to Cape Town was like between 6 months and a year. And then when I learned about the rent prices, it was like, maybe like 50 years. I hope not. But you know what I'm saying. The trip on the other side. I'm not assuming, can try. My mom still gets pimple, they never stop. No! No, I want some sort of drugs. Give me drugs, give me peptides. Give me some sort of steroid. Give me some sort of brain implant. Give me some sort of gene editing. I don't want pimples anymore. Please, please, technology. Please, please, I beg it. Oh, please, please take the pimples away. I don't want them anymore. I want to be a growing man. I want to be a real boy. I want to be Bro, I'm 38 and pimples happen way more than I want them. Maybe I'm finally going through puberty, bro. Like that's where I'm tripping out. Where I'm like, maybe I'm still going through puberty or something. Maybe I'm like only now becoming an adult. Maybe like 4 more years, and then when I'm 30, I'll officially be an adult or something, and then they'll stop. Same duck. I forgot there wasn't any mail yesterday. Guess nobody was tweeting. Yo, Louisiana, sprinkling abundance into this space. Thank you, dear friend. Thank you so much. Eternal blessings right back to you. You are amazing, dear friend. Thank you for practicing. Thank you for being one of my yoga students, right? For literally communicating to me how me teaching yoga has actually helped you. It means more than I can say. Thank you for manifesting abundance into my life. Not only in actual capital, but just in your presence, in the words you say, in the willingness for you to help me. It means more than I can actually, articulate. And I'm gonna continue talking unless I stop talking. So thank you. And Dr. Dad as well. It's like, oh yeah? Oh yeah. Want some love? Thank you, brother Dr. Dad as well. That lemon looks so happy, bro. I should actually make like stickers for you friends to use in chat as well. So you can like send me my flowers back at me. John did recommend that I make an orb, as like a sticker as well. I should do that stuff. I didn't help. It didn't help Amara's allergies. They have been bothering her, and she got a cough, and she rolls over and gets super close to me, and then coughs in my face. Oh goodness, being a parent, right? Like I get mildly triggered when Pippi scratches at my door in the mornings because she wants to get into my room, and I'm like, bruh, it's like 5 a.m. right now. Can you not, right? And that's just her wanting to get inside and then lay next to my bed on her little bed. And then I have to, like, of course, cover her in her blankets. Otherwise, she just stands there looking at me. And I can feel her little consciousness burning a hole in my skull. And I'm like, rolls over, covers her in blankets, goes back to sleep. And then having a child that sleeps in your bed with you and then coughs in your face, and you're like, yeah, this is my child. I need to love her unconditionally. You're so strong, Shad. Well, you 100% have 2 years teaching experience. Your streams, true, true. They also want me to be able to be a mindful meditation guider. Fuck. If they had to hear me say those words, they were like, "Nah, this dude's ain't got, he ain't got it." I need to be able to facilitate mindful meditations, and I do believe that I can do that as well. Like, I really do think I have what it takes. But the post is like a month old, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone else had already snapped it up. I'll apply. I'll apply today. You know, let's see if something comes of it. Maybe I'll end up moving there sooner than I planned to. And then, you know, if things go well, I can like save up some cash, and then my homie that wants to start the business with me, John, can come through a little bit later. Yeah, Melt, if you're giving classes while streaming on yoga, that totally counts. Yeah, it does. Finagle my CV being like, I'll pass out during yoga. My only dream is Melt breathing back life into me. No, dude, like, I don't know why, but for some reason in this analogy where I breathe life back into you, I can fly, you know, and I like fly like a little fairy over you. Breathing life back into you, right? Agreed. That should count if I pass out. No, please. I mean, I'm just imagining this other weird scenario where people just like pass out intentionally, you know? It's like, oh, I'm so passed out right now. I need CPR. Nah, no. You don't need CPR. Oh, I'm dying. Stop it, you. Stop doing that. I haven't watched RuPaul's Drag Race since like season 10, Lois Zana, but I imagine his voice saying, Maxine! I don't even mean his yoga streams. I just mean the everyday 800 plus. He's interacting and teaching spiritual stuff. Shoot, if nothing else is a boss, I'm going to say you showed up 800 days in a row. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna add that, because they also have like a bullet point of like requirements. One of them being self-motivated. I'm like, oh yeah, you need someone self-motivated? I got so much self-motivation. You don't even know. Lamau, Melton Moore, Joe Schmo, good morning and good day. Big love to everyone here. Stay hydrated, stay flexible, stay alert. Kristen manifesting abundance as well. We're getting close to day 888, you know? Day 888 technically is the day of abundance. Well, it's gonna, like in my mind, it's like day of abundance. So the fact that you friends are abundanting in this space as it's day 880 is just melting my heart. It makes me feel like synchronicities. Thank you. Thank you for caring enough. Thank you for loving me enough to share your wealth with me. It means so much. Stay alert and aware and always stay grateful. Agreed. Shell as well. It's like, oh yeah? Thank you, Shell. Thank you, friends. $47. I just saw the number, $47 in the stream. How about that, Shan? Love is true. Nobody donate anything else. It needs to stay at 47, please. I'm gonna start crying if you friends give me even more. Like, I feel like I'm already being overwhelmed. It's like I don't feel like I did anything to deserve all of this help. You friends are literally changing my life. Like, and I wish I could articulate, you know, how much you friends have done for me. Never mind, you know, the finances you friends have blessed me with. Just the amount of influence, right? Like, I actively consider what you friends would think before I do anything. Hello, Peppy. Hey, sweetie girl. I love you, friend, so much. Thank you. Thank you for blessing me with all of the love. Is that $1,000 or rand? No, that's $1,000, dude. $1,000 for the rent. It's so ma. So ma. I thought RuPaul was amazing in, but I'm a cheerleader. One of my all-time favorite movies. More love. Joe, 92 degrees, and I'm landscaping all day for my customers. Camel time. Stay hydrated, but the bear, please. Get yourself a scarf. Oh, add water to it. Keep yourself, nice and cool. I say, I want to be a real boy all the time. So real, dude. It's so real. Love you. Heal my pimples and stuff. Give me good skin, water molecules. Suddenly, I revert to like infantile skin, glowing, super, super soft. I heard they're gonna do a remake, Beansy. Eternal screaming intensifies. I'm eternally screaming right now. Thank you, Maxine, for all of the good vibes. When I think of how much I used to pay for yoga classes, this is tiny, but it's all I've got for now. Hosanna, it's more than enough. Thank you. Like, really. The fact that you friends support me on Patreon, you're also a Patreon supporter, Hosanna. The fact that you friend, like it's $1, right? Even if it's just $1, the fact that you get to see the flowers and the poetry I write with it, and the fact that you friends, appreciate that work. Yeah. Like I was talking about my Patreon and you friends and the support you've provided already yesterday with my mom, where we were making the joke of me being a starving artist, and I'm like, oh yeah, I made like X amount of bucks. How much was it? Uh, I think like $2,000 the whole year last year with Patreon alone. And to me that's a lot of money. And like I could see my dad's face being like, "Excuse me?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, artist, yeah, paid, yeah." Feeling kind of good about myself being like just showing my parents that even though what I'm doing might be unconventional, I honestly don't believe that I'm trying to ruin my life. Oh, we love gobbledygoo. Here, no gobbledygoo. Little cheerleading. Is that a what do you call those things? I don't even know. Uh, honey melon? Yeah, honey melon? Thank you. Is what I'm saying. Thank you so much, Brother Bear. You friends, you friends warm my heart. Like self-regulation. Yes. Don't cry. Don't cry. Think about how beautiful the clouds are. Look up, and there's not a single cloud in the sky. Think about how beautiful the trees are. Think about how beautiful your friends are. Thank you. Thank you so much for all of the love. Like yeah, I'm just grateful. Thank you, Brother Joshua, for reminding me just to be grateful as well. Follow Sam's lead, start a Patreon where each thing bought for your new place gets to be named after the donator. Oh, that is so clever. Is that Sam's idea? Puts it in my pocket. Boop. So in that case, like these microphones, you friends basically bought for me, through the Patreon as well. What should we call the microphones? There's so many different tangents happening in the conscious mind right now. It's so much dissonance. We'll come up with a name eventually. Like there's two of them, so we have to give them like two names. Each of them has to have a little name of their own. Oh, thank you, Joy. I think it's free on YouTube Movies. There we go. Got it. Someone's tagged. I think I missed a few. Hey man, that money comes from the back, breaking labor in the heat. You have given plenty. Let's help you into your next fractal. Least I can do. Thank you, Brother Bear. Thank you, friends, for allowing me this space, for reminding me that what I'm doing is actually seen as valuable. It really sucks that we find ourselves in a time where we're expected, to earn a living. Like that, just those words, right? Earning a living, right? Like I'm alive right now. All I need to technically do to live is take a next breath, right? That technically is the work I have to do in order to continue living. But no, no. I need to do more. Need to do more and then make X amount of money just so that I can live in the place. And then, unfortunately, Cape Town is like a hub for a bunch of different people in the world. Like foreigners come to Cape Town to basically retire, or they like buy themselves houses in Cape Town, even though they live in Europe. And then when it's winter in Europe, they come to Cape Town so they can be in the summer. And then that kind of like hikes up the prices. And then, I get the shock of realizing how expensive it is to live there. It's a movie that makes fun of how straight people try to make others admit their homosexuality. They save them from it. It's ridiculous and totally heartwarming. How straight people try to make others admit their homosexuality. I don't know if I understand that fractal. It's like straight people want to know that you're homosexual and they want you to say that you're homosexual, reaffirming their straightness. They want to be right about how not straight you are. I'm kind of confused. I was going to tag everyone's name and say, hey, I love you, but you already know, so love you all. Thank you, Joshua. Do it. You got this. Love is true. I have to look it up. I think it's free. Tinkermelt. Tinkermelt. Oh, bangarang. I don't know why, but when I breathe life into you, I fly. I spit out my water. Think your friend. Oh, no way, Maxine. 8 days till day 888. Yeah, it's gonna be a cool one. We have to do something, Joe. Joe manifesting more abundance. Little dancy red panda with his little heart fans, I'm guessing. Like I'm like getting overwhelmed right now. Like what the funny thing for me is today's whole stream is supposed to be about self-regulation. Oh yes. I'm so capable of regulating myself. And now I'm like in this space of like my mind being like and I'm like that works. Yeah, it actually feels good. And you, ours, thank you for being willing to spend these moments with me, for regulating yourself well enough to manifest abundance into your life, and then out of all of the ways you could regulate yourself, sending some of it, towards mine. You friends are laying the bricks for the future we're going to experience. It's gonna be cool showing you friends Cape Town. I don't know if I'll be able to have like these type of nature scenes, thinking about Kristen right now, kind of like tuning into these spaces sometimes to just get a little bit of nature in her space. But there surely will still be hope. I'm sure we'll still have some nature. Send Melty to Cape Town. There's a lot there. There's a lot of people that kind of like follow our train of thought and our way of being as well. I might be able to sell my art there. If I'll be able to sell it anywhere. I'll be able to sell it in Cape Town. I could do lectures potentially. I could do yoga classes. There's a lot there, Like technically what I want to be doing is like the staging side of like festivals, to do the imagery, right? The pretties of the festival scenes, and then using my psychedelic flowers as content for that. A means to basically use the things we've already created for more good, getting more people to see it, more people to experience that love. I just found a weed pen in my landscaping toolbox. Thank you, universe. That's how it be. Yeah. I like how, Brother Duck Dad manifests some abundance into this space, and then suddenly the universe, portals open up, and then into his toolbox, weed vape pen. That's so nice, dude. Like I'm kind of stoked for you right now. Transcore, yeah. If it's in the toolbox, you got to put it there. It got put there because it's of value. I wouldn't be surprised if, Brother Duck Dad was hitting that pen and it worked, and then he put it in the box and then completely forgot about it. But still, let's imagine the portal, instead, like the universe blessing him with a little vape pen. We love you, Melt. Yes, we do. We love you, Melt. How about you? So much. Is it a lime? I don't know. I don't know either, dude. Maybe it's an alien. Oh, maybe it's just a straight up alien. 2027. Apparently, the aliens are coming 2027. How do you friends feel about that? Suddenly, we figure out AI. We transition into having like brain computer interfaces so we can communicate beyond human language. And then as soon as we figure out how to communicate beyond human language, the aliens rock up here like, "What's up? What's up, human beings?" And we're like, "What did they say?" And then, bloop, and then they're saying, "What's up, human beings?" Oh, that's nice. Are they gonna help or are they gonna eat us? Well, they're basically trying to introduce us to the rest of, the intergalactic family. Suddenly, the veil washes over us or washes away from us, and we just see so many aliens all around. They're just everywhere. Don't get so close to me, bro. Like, just give me some space. Please. Thank you. That's enough. Oh, so much love. It's okay to cry. It is okay to cry. I feel like I don't want to cry though, like I'm just grateful. I feel so blessed having people that care as much as you do. All of you friends being willing to help me. Mikkel and Frogel. I like that. Gob manifested. You're gonna have to remind me though. Did you just sniff the case? I technically kissed it a little bit, but yes, I sniffed the case as well. I like smelling things, Joy. Don't. Been listening to quite a few different lectures lately, quantifying science and spirituality and the link between consciousness and its intent as it relates to the measurable, observable environment. We can actually measure our impact with instrument. Shit's wild, yeah. Like you have an impact. Like for a good way to kind of like really trip yourself out about what Brother Joe Schmo just said is something called the double slit experiment. All right, and you friends have probably heard this into annoyance even. But the double slit experiment is basically a light source that projects light through two slits, right, to the other side. And what happens if it's unobserved is they exist in superposition. So they go everywhere, right? Almost like a spectrum when they come through those slits. But as soon as you look at them with your observer, with your consciousness, they choose to go either one way or another, making two lines. You understand what that means? I kind of have a hard time understanding that means, but essentially, you and your observation of this universe literally changes reality. You observing something that's in superposition basically expects it, forces it into one state of being, right? And I believe it's the same thing for whether or not you look at the world through a lens of fear, like, oh, I'm scared of this thing, or through a lens of love. I'm gonna love whatever comes. And then, depending on which perspective you take as an observer, the reality around you collapses into a one or a zero, love or fear. That's the power you have, dear friends. Literally the power to change reality. Literally, like straight up change reality. Joe, that's interesting stuff. I've always been about science and spirituality as opposed to like science versus religion. Same. And the cool thing is, like our science is basically going to start affirming the spiritual practices we've had. And I'm saying spiritual practices, not religion. I feel like science is gonna curb stomp religion properly over the next few years. But spirituality, the fact that we are souls and like in an embodied experience right now, is being confirmed. Pippi, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. She's been humping Yudi into oblivion. She's been humping Yuri so much that he like hides, like he's literally running away from her right now. He's probably running to where I was just going to say. He like hides underneath the car because there's no room above him for her to get on top of him underneath the car. And my heart hurts for him because I come out of my office, after working, and I just see Yuri, like his little soft eyes looking at me from underneath the car, and Pippi like, and I'm like, oh, Yuri, you poor soul, dude. You don't deserve this abuse. Dude, I can't even imagine what it feels like to be you. Every day someone asks me what I'm going to do for a job. Motherfuckers, I never stop working. Pretty sure this is real. Exactly, Brother Bear. Like people like certainty, and the joke is there is only real certainty. There's only real success in doing what is uncertain, right? There's only real freedom in doing what's uncertain, because doing something that you don't know the outcome of, right? Like this, whatever we're doing right now. I don't know the eventual outcome of this space, but I know that this is what I'm supposed to do. And if I was obsessed with making money as my primary directive, this isn't, something I would have the time for, because, my priority should be make money, not, sit down. And we used to smoke weed and drink water, right? That's not my priority. This should be the thing I should do instead. And we wouldn't have had this, right? And I believe that there is a certain level of uncertainty we should be willing to accept in this journey that we're a part of. And being willing to accept that uncertainty, I feel, is only going to make our lives more novel, better. Like there's going to be more to experience as a result of it. I think another way to look at this is that if we were all going out to your house and using your resources, we would probably bring gifts with us or something like this. And it's the least that we can do. I get that, Shell. Like I'm grateful. I'm not feeling like you friends are being taken advantage of or anything like that. I'm just so grateful that you friends are willing to share with me. Like it's a beautiful fractal, Like I imagine us talking about, this willingness to kind of like transcend scarcity consciousness and being willing to take your hard-earned cash, and give it to someone on the internet, right? Me on the other side of the world, knowing that there, isn't going to be necessarily like a product or investment necessarily where you're going to see dividends. And I do believe you will, right? In some part, of my mind, I'm like, yeah, there's going to be so many dividends paid. But there's no guarantee of that. There's uncertainty, right? Like as we just mentioned. And the fact that your friends are still willing to kind of like forego the ego's little, it just makes me happy. It gives me hope. That's what I'm trying to say. And that hope kind of like makes my heart feel so full. Thank you, friends, for inspiring me. But I'm a cheerleader in a 1999 satirical romantic comedy film about a high school cheerleader, Megan, who was sent to a reparative therapy camp when her parents suspect that she's gay. Is that the movie's plot? I kind of like that. Not the fact that they sent her to a camp, but the fact that she's going to go to a camp where a bunch of other people like her is going, right? That's the way I'm seeing it. I'm getting fire in my razor. I added some sunblock to my face at least today, so I'm kind of okay with it. I'm like, yeah, fire in my razor. Yeah, try, son. Try and wreck me. I got sunblocks. It's like, bro, your sunblock stopped working 20 seconds ago. I'm just kicking you in the face now. Nice, thank you. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing, right? You're gonna send me to a place where a bunch of my peers are. I'm probably going to have people to sleep with. Joke's on you, mom and dad. Doug, the very second you get to the other side, you're going to be looking around for the tool shed and asking where the backyard pisser is. Oh no, I will find it elsewhere if needed. What's that? The movie, I'm guessing? Identifying the areas of the brain that light up in correlation to prayer and measuring the impact of the molecule field of an object that has the subject and focusing and praying to praying about the impact of talking to water, it's just awesome manifestation. Like I do believe in prayer, right? And we have actually in this space prayed for someone, but instead of like, and this is what I've done with you friends as well. Instead of like being like, oh please, dear deity somewhere out there, can you help our friend, etc., etc. The way I consider praying is for us to kind of like take a moment to imagine this friend that we were trying to send positive energy to, and then to assume a reality better than the one that might be present, right? For instance, a friend might be sick. Then we can all take a moment to generate in our mind the image of our friend in good health, of our friend recovering from whatever discomfort they're experiencing. And I honestly believe that that changes the very fabric of reality because so many conscious entities is basically going against the fractal that is present, right? So almost like in mental space, there are more iterances of a different reality than there is of actual reality. And then actual reality has to align with the mental space's iteration of reality instead of being as it is. You're like, Melt, that sounds insane. Yeah, and yet I've watched it with you friends working, right? Like we've literally, at least in part, helped people in this space just by giving them some lovin's, paying attention to them for even a moment. In But I'm a Cheerleader, that's the movie's name. A girl's parents suspect she's a lesbian and send her to conversion therapy camp. That's where the title comes from. While she's there, she meets a girl. Yes! Yes, I'm so happy to hear that. That's exactly the fractal that I was imagining is gonna happen. It's like, bruh, you're gonna send me to gay camp. I'm just gonna make friends with more of my people, you know. Joke's on you. I'm not going to get converted. I'm just going to, you know, see that there are more people like me struggling with their family, not accepting them, and we get to accept one another. If you take 880 and put it on its side, you got double infinity with a halo, or double infinity on a cloud or a bubble. Yeah, double infinity and then a unity, right? Infinity is a circle before it collapses onto itself and becomes a, you know, infinity symbol. So technically, there's still infinity, infinity, and then an uncollapsed infinity. Melt is totally fine. I lost there, but my mind, though it was going forever, so new to me. Yeah, I'm getting you. Like the weed pen. I'm guessing you're talking about Canadian thoughts. Am I right, Melty? You're being observed right now, brother. Yeah, like I feel that. Like, and this is like again a little bit on the side of woo woo or the unprovable, but when you do like breathwork exercises into an extreme, or you smoke DMT or you know drink ayahuasca, etc., etc., at least those are the ones that really kind of like opened my perception to the point where it's impossible to ignore. That's the best way I can say it. I noticed entities outside of my consciousness viscerally paying attention to me, right? And they were ecstatic to meet me and to have me return to that realm of existence. They were like really happy about it. They were like, "Yow, yow, skapow, welcome back!" And they were like coming up to me, and they were like in my face, and they would do these things, and they were trying to communicate to me, and they would try and give me things. Like my very first DMT trip, they were trying to give me cups of something, right? They were like trying to offer me drinks, and I was like, no, thank you. Should I not say no, thank you? Should I be? How do I drink something when I'm in spirit form? Can I drink something in spirit form? They were trying to give me soma. You know, that's the way I articulated to myself, reflecting on that experience afterwards. And they want me to stay every single time. They want me to stay, and I'm like, no, I can't. I have work to do. And the last time I smoked DMT, it was 2022, the 22nd of February, 22 minutes past 10, 22 seconds past, 22 minutes past 10, right? So 22, 22, 22 on the 22nd of February, 22, the year 22. And I did it very intentionally with all of those dualities in mind. And I smoked, I inhaled, I held it. And as soon as I felt the effects of it coming on, I asked, heal my brain. I don't know why, that's the thing that came up in me in that very moment. And instead of melting into the experience, it came upright and my eyes shot open and I was just looking in my space. And I was looking at my Jupiter painting because I sat on my bed. And for some reason, I decided to try and listen to music during that experience. That was a bad idea. I was listening to Menu Mus's Consciousness, which is a pretty intense track. And it felt like the music was melting, like crackling almost a little bit. But I was just open-eyed. And it felt like this extreme pressure building in my head. And I could feel these entities like doing something to my brain, but I was supposed to be conscious for it. I wasn't supposed to have my eyes closed. It was like having brain surgery done, but they wanted me to continue consciousing so that they don't fuck something up, right? And it was surreal. I was like, oh goodness, what have I done? What have I done? And I sit there and I go through this experience and I had like that pressure in my mind, and I shared it with a few friends as well for like a week or two even afterwards. It was uncomfortable. And I was like trying to understand what I just went through. And I write intentions, as you friends know, on my Garrix. So I opened the little DMT joint paper, like I rolled these little mini changa, little measured out proper dosage, little joint. And the inside of that little paper had understand written on the inside of it. Understand. And then as soon as I read that message, what I was supposed to understand is that I'm supposed to be here, right? I went into this experience alone, kind of like seeking something, right? Seeking understanding, essentially. And then the understanding that I came to is that even though those experiences are available to us, we are here for a reason. Like that space exists eternally, right? The spiritual plane of existence exists. It does. Without a shadow of a doubt, nothing will be able to convince me otherwise. But it exists without you needing to be there, right? It exists without you needing to be there, and it will exist when you no longer feel the need to be here. And that's the space you will return to. And I came from that space, and I will return to that space. But for the time being, I decided to come into this realm of existence. And it was like a jolt of a reminder of an awareness that this experience that we're having as human beings is very important, right? And these entities are rooting for us. Like I feel it's almost like you can imagine it like a cosmic drama. The entire story of the world, every single human being as an actor, as a person playing a role in this experience, is contributing to this new world, right, that we're trying to build. And these entities are like on the metaphorical tip of their seats, on the edges of their seats, like watching us, trying to see if we're gonna fuck up or not, right? And it's a lot of pressure. And if I'm spazzing out, like spazzing out isn't necessarily a bad thing in my mind. If I'm melting, right, to the point of not being able to move my body, I do not have the ability to be a present and influencing character in this story of the world. And it was like a genuine reminder of what I'm here to do. I understood what I'm here to do. And I basically decided in that moment that I don't think I'm going to smoke DMT anytime soon again. I'll probably try it again when I'm in my 30s. Oh, Pippi just farted. I'll probably do it again in my 30s, just for a reminder to kind of like pierce through the veil again, see the other side, peek on the other side, being like, oh yeah, all of this insanity that is like, it's insane. It's like one of the most insane things ever. Good job, Pippi. She's like, yeah, yeah, Farter McFarty. It's like one of the most insane experiences you can have. And at the same time, you are washed with this experience of familiarity, which is so counterintuitive, right? It's like, for instance, if aliens, right? If like a silver UFO saucer had to come and land, and then it goes, and then aliens out of that spaceship, I'd be like, okay, that's pretty normal. That would be my reaction because of the amount of absurdity I've experienced in that realm. Like watching an entity literally transform into 10,000 different things right in front of your eyes in an instance. And you're like, yep, checks out. Makes perfect sense. For instance, like this is one of my favorite stories of like a DMT experience I've had. When me, Christian, and Johan, the 1st of November of 2021, smoked on that copy, I melted into the experience, and I was again overwhelmed by this like compartmentalized, like imagine this three compartments, and within those three compartments there were these infinitely deeply spiraling rooms. And then as I was in that space looking into that world, all of them in those rooms were looking at me. They noticed me piercing into that world again. And then they were like, oh, hello. And then all of them came into my field of vision. And it was almost like, imagine like old friends, giddily, like old friends, but also higher dimensional archetypes, right? Like old friends in the same way you have friends that act in certain ways, have certain characters, and then imagine those characters to their extreme as entities. I don't know if that makes any sense. In my field of vision. And they were trying to get my attention, and they were like, this one would say something, and this one would do something, and this one would like try and get my attention again. And they would gain value out of me just giving them my attention and letting them do this little dance for me, giving me their information, their perspective. And then to the corner of my eye, I see what looks like a. So to give you an idea, maybe I should show you a photo. Maybe I can. Like I'm gonna go to Reddit r/DMT. Just gonna show you what these entities kind of like look like, or at least roughly, because it's going to still be an approximation of an instant, not the full thing. R/dimethyltryptamine. Let's see how long it's going to take me. That's a good one. But not psychedelic enough. Why? Communities, please. There we go. There we go. This is a good one, right? So that's the type of stuff that you will experience on the other side. And you'll be like, yeah, checks out. This is normal. Let me see if I can find you another one. There's another one as well. You'll find these jesters on the other side. They usually flip me off. They're like, fuck you, and then I'm like, love you. I love you too. Oh, they're so weird. Yeah, this is another good one. Okay, one more, and then we'll continue. So entities, and like all of these things, all of these like lines will actively be moving and self-transforming and changing into different things. And like some of these entities will be like combined into each other. It's a lot. It's a lot, right? So like that's the type of stuff I was experiencing, like technocolor, so much noise, so much information coming into my system. And then in the corner of my eye, I see what looks like black outlines, right? Not even enough information for it to have a face, but it had like a black outline, black outline, black outline, black outline, black outline, right? Like the 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 most basic of what an entity could be, right? Like so low bit. Imagine like these things have like sheer amounts of information, and then this entity was like the lowest version of what that information can be. And I see this entity, and it's almost like he's trying to reach me. And as I notice him, I ask these other entities, "What is he?" And they're like, he's just like a little fucker, you know? Don't give him any attention. He just wants your essence or something like that. And like I take this as like as like, are they giving me good advice right now? And I take it as like jealousy almost in that moment. And I in this realm come down and I look at that entity directly and I tell it, I love you. And it goes from black outlines to right, that like technocolor, and it expands in my entire field of vision. And those other entities that were encroaching on me got like blasted away. Imagine like a psychedelic nuclear explosion of that presence, of that love being given to that entity. And he became, in that realm, at least to my perception, more powerful than the entities who were telling me that he's nothing. And like after that, I was like, holy shit, the power of love, the power of presence, the power of giving someone even a moment, right? Like, I don't know what that was. I don't know if it was even real. It might have been just my mind constructing a fractal, an archetype, an understanding, and trying to give it to me in a visual way so that I can form a perspective. But yeah, share love, even if it's something as simple as just a moment of your attention. You can change someone's life. You can give them a psychedelic explosion in so many ways. Okay, DMT stories done. Let me put on the fractal, have some conversations with your friends again. Puppy sexually harassing you, D. She needs sexual harassment training. I'm like trying to. I'm like, Puppy, no, can't do that. Yo. Can't be doing that, shiznit. It's not okay. He doesn't want that. You should still drink water. Yes, please drink water, Joe Bot. Love, how you? How are you and the baby burbs? Thank you for asking, dear Shell, to let us know. I can't say that the impact in my household is showing my kids that there are YouTubers that encourage free thinking. Yeah. And I think it's going to allow them a perspective on the world that is so much more vast than literally the most, like I'm imagining 120 billion human beings having existed, and then Natalie's child, right? Having more perspective than 111 billion human beings before her. The stream is an investment and we get dividends daily. Gang, gang. Yeah, yeah, Joy V. Thank you for echoing. I just hemorrhaged so much hard cash buying things I've been needing on sales we've had here this weekend. I'm happy that you're getting to at least embrace the tools, Brother Bear. Untitled and Esrog, lovins to you, friends. I'm getting to the comments. I'm still a little bit behind right now. Here's a weird thing that happened. Every time I mow the grass and pull out weeds and clean up the property, I come to the realization that I'm destroying habitats and micro ecosystems. Yeah, it's true, right? Like when you're basically cutting those mini flowers that sprout in your garden, like you're robbing bees of potential food. It is a little bit brutal. Insects, having their little ecosystems devastated. Massive machine with a fast spinning blade, chopping their shiznit up. It's a little bit brutal. We have brain damaged ourselves into wanting things to be one way. Like I look forward to us being able to like have like little food forests in our front yards. Imagine if every front yard that is just like grass was a mini food forest, how much food we'll have all over the world. Like we're our biggest crop, and I think I might be mistaken on this, but I think one of our biggest crops in the world right now is lawn grass. You know, let that sink in. One of the biggest crops in the world is lawn grass. Giving grass the water that we could be giving to our foods. I'm happy because I'm serving my human loved ones. But there are so many disciplined little friends because of it. There'll be more. I'm going to take a moment to express gratitude for my goob health. Yes, more gratitude. I bought the cat new litter boxes this weekend. It's good stuff. I'm envisioning Melty connecting with a babe in a meaningful way. Thank you, God. I haven't had any intimacy in a while. Connecting with a babe in a meaningful way would be meaningful, I guess. Right? Who knows? I'm fortunate to have calmed down, right, in that perspective. I feel I have been pretty calm for a while now, but the fact that I am not bothered by whether or not, like, let me re-articulate. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything, right? Like this, I noticed that there are some of my friends, you know, who have this experience of like, oh, if I'm not out there sleeping with people, then I'm missing out on something, you know, like I'm not out there sleeping with people. And for me, it's more a fact of I'm very content with myself and with this experience I'm having, that I don't feel like I need that. Leave it to Mel to find the pattern of threes. I have to skedaddle. Natalie, we love you, dear friend. Thank you for spending this moment. I know you're not here anymore, but still sending you lovin's. She's still here in this moment. All right, think about that. There's a Natalie out there in the world somewhere. Natalie, sending you love. It's not woo-woo just because it's not proven yet. We are on the verge of being able to measure and see these impacts that we are experiencing. DMT, for example, remote viewing is measurable, and they have spent a lot of time, right? Like there's like actual CIA papers where they go into like talking about remote viewing and stuff. It's a lot. Okay, here's the story. At our science center, there was a temporary exhibit about the brain and mind. There was a game where two people would sit across from each other with a perfectly level table between them and a ball in the middle. All you had to do was like push the ball towards the other person using only your mind. I did it 4 times, 4 or 5 times with my husband, and I just clobbered him every time. He kept saying, "How are you doing that?" We did switch sides every time. I knew I could do it because I know I can make things happen with my mind, right? And like it's a level of if you believe you can't, it is impossible, right? And I'm assuming a little bit, Loizana, but I'm seeing how you occupy the space of mind, the state of mind where you believe that is possible because you've seen it happen, right? You have given yourself evidence that you can influence the outside world with your inner mind. And we know that there's like magnetic waves coming off of your, you know, skull as well. Like that is happening right now. And your husband might be in a state of mind where he believes, of course you can't influence things with your mind, you know. That doesn't make any logical sense, they say. And because you occupy the space where you believe it's possible, it is. I love your DMT story. Understand, listen, hear. Thank you, Esrock, for listening, dear friend. I think about that from time to time. Lois, it has always been here, just under the surface, and a lot of us have felt it our entire lives. The cool thing to me is what we know. Gary Lee is sending me messages. He wants to do a live stream soon. Yeah. I did it 4 or 5 times. Okay, I think another one. Our whole lives. The cool thing to me is that what we know is reaching the masses through the scientific method. I feel for the longest time, you know, because of our lack of understanding of these energies, right? There was probably a certain level of fear from the powers that be with whether or not human beings understand how powerful they are. You know, if every single human being understood that they have the actual power to shift reality into a state of being that is actually going to facilitate a loving consciousness, a loving world, then the companies that basically rely, the advertisers that rely on you believing you are not good enough, you do not have enough, fall apart, right? Trillions of dollars melt away. Potential dollars melt away if you believe you can change the world. All right. So like there definitely is a vested interest to keep the human mind in a little box. I think it's growing, and we are about to have a wave of consciousness that spans the globe. We are the seeds getting planted all over the world, you know. The conscious awakening has begun. You friends are proof of that already. Loizana reminds me of the PK party I went to in high school, where we learned how to bend metal. My friend's dad was the leader. You bent metal with your minds? Hot diggity damn. We're getting into some deep stuff, John. I think you'd like this conversation, bro. Like, we talked about so much wacky bobackiness, all of it really cool stuff. Like, actually, John also had a DMT experience kind of recently. I'm sorry for outing you, dude. Should have probably asked. But he doesn't, at least from what he's told me, he doesn't remember too much of it. I was sharing some of my DMT stories today. And we also talked about, you know, the power to change reality with our minds. Nice job, Pippi. So freaking excited about this next chapter. Yeah, me too. Harmony will find itself at the center of our collective consciousness once again. Unity, right? Harmony in unity. Unity as harmony. Realizing that we are all a part of the same whole. That we are one. And then from that realization of our oneness, kind of like not accepting certain things, letting people die without medical care because they don't have the money, not acceptable, because that's me. Surely not this me, but that me. So I don't want me to die, so I'm gonna make sure me stays alive, right? And then just having that as a global understanding, where we just don't stand for the bullshit. We're like, no, no killing people for money. No doing that. Stop doing that. You stop that. Stop it. Hey, Aegon Hex. I'm watching this live stream later again. Just join. Please do. This is a good one, bro. Like, I usually don't recommend, you know, rewatching a stream, but this one has been powerful in so many ways. We like really dove into deep stuff. Katie is here as well. It's nice seeing your name, dear friend. I don't know if you're still here. Sending you love. Harmony will find. What was the exact dose? 60 milligrams. I have the dust. But not dosed. Yeah. I don't think you should follow my advice. I smoke 60 milligrams, which is technically excessive. But yeah, psychedelics tend to affect me differently. Where like I'll take the same dose of mushrooms with my friends, and then they're like, "Holy shit, I'm getting wrecked right now," and I'm like, "It feels pretty normal. Things are okay." Envision this and the will to exist. Katie, feeling better? Hope so. We're talking about clockwork elves. We were, Sam. We were talking about the clockwork elves. So many elves. I'm just an outline this morning. I'll be back to you when I have more substance. I love you, Esrog. You're enough, dear friend, as you are. A love for breakfast. Yes, I have the outline image and concept. So many outlines on planet Earth every day. Like having been reduced to nothingness, right? Having been convinced that you are nothing, that you are nothing more than your ability to earn money, you are nothing more than your ability to facilitate some sort of experience, right? Not the fact that your experience is worthy of being had, you know. No, you're supposed to be doing something in order to be worthy, and then feeling like, going inward and inward, contracting away from the world. Missed your comment, Shell. I'm doing okay. Extracting all the bliss I can find in each moment to recharge me from my daily challenges. I'll get to see my baby Burbies this weekend. I've got healthy baby robins nesting in my shrubs though. So nice. You have baby Burbies? She's actually like volunteering at like a place that takes in these baby animals and takes care of them. She's a superhero. I kind of do, Ezra. I work at a center. There we go. That helps rehab them for the Reese back in the wild. Thank you for sharing that fractal as well. Bless on this, Joe Bot. Your friends definitely thinking about you randomly all day with appreciation and warm, loving thoughts. Thank you for saying it. Right? Sometimes our minds won't tell us that, so thank you for using your mind to tell us. Again, John, Ayo to you. Okay, I'm getting close to presence. Shell, I definitely feel the love, even in silence, and send loving gratitude to all of you all the time. I have been subbing at 11:11. This is the way. I'm watching the live stream again. Thank you. Aegon. It's nice having you. Aegon is also, like, to you friends who are curious, Aegon Hex now has a video on his channel, Invictus, where he recited the poem talking about being unconquerable. It's a good one. Go and check it out if you have some time. I don't mind sharing. Love is true. I'ma brew a cuppa and work on this flower. How did we call it yesterday? Flarg? Yeah, flarg. Flower flarg. Or something like that. I feel a shroom trip soon. I was considering taking a little bit of shrooms today, but I ended up not doing it because I think I took a little bit of shrooms on Sunday, like 0.55 grams. So I decided not to today. Cartoons, do you ever microdose? Yeah, try just half a gram, you know. Like half a gram can be enough, you know, especially if you want to do work mentally instead of just getting wrecked. I may eat some today. There we go. You know, half a gram of mushrooms, painting. I feel it calling to me. It is a worthy experience, and I do believe it unbrain damages us. You know, like Terence McKenna has this beautiful quote where he goes, "The problem or the issue of society is a severe lack of psychedelics," or something like that. It's like the fact that things are so messed up right now is because we don't have, as a part of our regular diets, psychedelics. Psychedelic means mind manifest, you know. So whatever state of mind you are occupying becomes manifest in that moment. And it becomes manifest in a way where you are asked to face it. Where it's like, look at this. Look at this. Right? And you can't look away because it's you. It's you seeing yourself. Right? And that can be jarring sometimes. It can be hurtful because sometimes we don't act as the version of the self we know we're ought to be. But it can be an amazing reflection. Afterwards, there's still work to be done. The mushrooms isn't going to heal you for you. The mushrooms can show you the areas that need healing, but you're still going to be the one that actually has to do the work. And that will never change. Connor, all the lovins to you, brother. Yes, 60 is out of hand melt. Wow, well done, brave brother. Yeah. Yeah, 60 is 20 milligram is like the recommended dose. I tried to inhale as much as I could. Our body tells you that you can't anymore. It's true. I never have tried it, but I've considered it. Is it worth it? It's a lot. John saying, Connor, it's overwhelmingly significant. It is so hard to be in that moment, but it's indescribable. Yeah. It's like the way okay, so you have dopamine, serotonin as two of your main, like, modulating chemicals, right? Like there's a ceaseless and constant level of dopamine / serotonin in your brain. And all of us have different levels of that. And depending on how much of those levels you have a certain type of life experience. Dopamine being the one that tells you whatever you're doing right now is good, right? It tells you like, good, yeah, good. This thing you're doing, good. Serotonin, I believe, it has like a bunch of other acting, things as well, with your digestive tract and stuff like that as well. But the way that I've articulated to myself is that serotonin is information, right? So if you take some mushrooms, it gives you more information about the current, almost like, program you're running in your head, right? Imagine that program getting more information and then running faster, where you're like, I can see how adding this little bit of information, and then the mushrooms is like, wah, and then it's like, and it grows faster, and then you can see the kind of flower that of the seed you just planted, and you can be like, oh, I don't know if I like that flower, and then you can course correct. Where DMT is also a chemical being released in your brain ceaselessly at the same appropriate, like approximately the same levels as dopamine and serotonin as well. And what I believe about DMT is that it's the thing that modulates your perception of reality, right? So if dopamine tells you what your reality is good, serotonin gives you information about your reality, DMT opens up your perception to the fullness of reality, right? And there's a lot more to reality than your human consciousness, your human base state allows you to experience. There's so much information filtered out. And imagine that filter being taken away, and then infinity flowing into your being. It's not comfortable, right? Like smoking DMT, for me at least, the fun part of DMT is not being on DMT anymore, right? And that's what makes it counterintuitive, and that's why I'm willing to talk about it in the way I am, is because I believe it's very hard to become addicted to something like that, because it's anti-addictive in that way. Where, for instance, like as I shared with you friends, the last time I did it was 2022 February, so more than a year ago, and I haven't even considered going there again, right? If it was a drug that was addictive, you want to go there all the time, right? Because it's so nice. No, it's not all nice. It's a lot. There's a lot of reality, right? And there can be harsh things of that reality as well. You know, you can have your ass scared. you can get yourself like properly traumatized even. So I feel if you're going to consider doing it, Connor, one, make sure you're stable. Two, figure out a proper, set for yourself, as in what your state of mind is, what you're dealing with at that point. Three, your setting, where you're doing it. And then I would like to recommend, from my personal perspective, making sure you can do it with someone that you actually trust, right? Someone or someone's, people that love you, people that care about you, people that will hold space for you in this realm of existence when you clip out of it, right? Because coming back into this world, going into that world, knowing you have people in this world holding space for you, and then coming back into this world with those people holding space for you, makes it a little bit less jarring, because it can peel the layers back. Oh, it can peel the layers back. Connor, yeah, I was doing it for a while. Every 3 days, I do think it snapped me out of what was probably a seasonal depression. It really can. It's perception, right? Like, I believe depression can be like a getting stuck in a certain narrative, in a certain state of being. And then when you open your mind to that much perception, it shows you that there's so much more to consider than just the reality you have been considering. And for instance, I got snapped out of my depression with mushrooms, not necessarily DMT, but again, with this perception thing. I noticed how my perception was, or the information that I was feeding into my consciousness over and over again. And I remember during like high school, I would actively sit and wish myself dead, right? I would like, can't I just die, right? It would be so much better if I was dead instead, If I even killed myself, would people care? And that is like a narrative. Die, 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 die. And then I took 3 grams of mushrooms, and what felt for the first time in decades, years, I had this perception showed to me of like wanting to die, and it got flipped on its head to, I am so grateful to be alive. And as soon as I felt that experience of, I am so grateful to be alive, I was shocked. I was actually shocked. I was like, wait a second, I'm capable of being grateful to be alive? Why did nobody tell me, And it snapped me out of that state of being completely. Amazing someday. Thanks for the shout out. Thank you for being here, bro, so I can shout you out. The outline disease is everywhere. It's so sad. I don't even know if it's a disease, dude. I think it's conditioning. Like we've been conditioned to feel less, to feel like nothing, even though every single one of us are God. The thing you are, not this fleshy part, the thing you are, the thing you refer to when you say I am, and then manana manana manana, right? Your name, your occupation, your whatever, right? You're always referring to the same thing, the I am. That I am is God. And I'm gonna say this even though people are gonna be angry at me for saying that, right? That part of you has been so repressed into believing you're not that, right? Into seeking it outside of yourself, not realizing that you are that thing which you're seeking. And it makes you feel like an outline, makes you feel like less because you're always in the place of seeking enough outside of yourself. Man, I'm behind. I'm on the DMT topic. We're here for you, brother Bear. I did the lemon tech and it was really pleasant. I also do lemon tech pretty much for every single one of my DMT experiences these days. Mushroom experiences. It basically just helps with like the processing of the information. That is the mushroom little cell walls. Man, it's been over a year for me. There's an opportunity somewhere in the future. I'm gonna take it. Yes. I should try that this winter. I really feel like it will take me out of my hibernation mode. It can. This, that is awesome work, Joe. Would love to do that type of thing. You can, Esrog. Find out if there's any sanctuaries close to you and volunteer. They'll take your help. They probably will. Golden teachers and freshly squeezed lemon juice in the morning. Medicine. Over and oh, come over and let's paint. That sounds so blessed. Yeah, yeah, right? Eat some mushrooms, paint some paintings. Joe Bo, I shared an image with you in Mel's Discord. Probably going to check it out later as well. The fun part of DMT is not being on DMT. That's seriously, that's my personal experience with it, right? I appreciate having my perception open to the point where I can see entities outside of my own consciousness, right? But it's a little bit jarring. And then being able to come back into this experience and having like the calm, having like the stability of a tree, just treeing day after day after day after day. It's kind of comforting, right? That tree in the DMT space would have, in this stream, transformed 10,000 times over, into multiple different iterations of what a tree could look like. And even though that's beautiful, right? It's a little bit much. Like, okay, thank you. I'm gonna put it down for a second. That's how I used to feel about running Melt. The only thing I like about it was when I wasn't running anymore. It's the same thing with cold showers for me, Loizana. Like, I don't like the cold shower. I like not cold showering anymore. After having cold showered, it can be very scary. It's true. Connor, I do feel like it woke me up a lot. It does. I felt like in 10 minutes, I felt all of the collective, was full laughing with everything in me, but also felt all the pain and sadness and fully cried of everything at the same time. Yeah, perception, right? Opening yourself up to everything. And the thing is, I feel like there's a certain level of personal responsibility you have to take going into an experience like that as well. If you notice about the set you're in, that you're assuming the worst about reality, you're assuming the worst about your state of being, you believe that the universe is out to get you, the DMT is just going to give you that, right? Because that's your perception. And then opening yourself up to more perception, it can scare the shit out of you. Be like, oh yeah, you want to be scared? Let's scare you. I remember my first mushy experience. I was really in a dark spot, working on renovating a newly purchased first home. Something sounded like it was breaking in, probably a dog. I grabbed a pocket knife and backed into the corner and was awakened to the thought that I'm alive and I want to be. And the love I put into keeping this home safe will be returned to me. I remember, and this might be me misremembering, Jovan, you also shared with me that there was like oh goodness, I'm getting emotional, an experience of the house almost like being an entity of itself, right? And you being willing to take care of the house makes the house want to take care of you. Hard to condense the experience in 200 characters, but it was like my spirit came alive. You realized, right, that you're not here to suffer, but you're here to alive. All of us are here to alive, dear friends. Hey, who needs tears? It's nice having you here as well, dear friend. I love you, Melty. I love you, friends, as we love you, dear Who Needs Tears. Thank you for joining us. I'm gonna play some carimbas, get some gentle vibes up in this space. We dove into some complicated topics today, huh? Self-regulation. There's like something in there about self-regulation, you know, having the conversation about DMT as well, not needing it anymore. Oh, my legs. Let me set a timer and then we'll listen to some kalimba. I'm only now noticing my kalimba microphone isn't turned on. Seeing you friends appreciate that. Like I'm so self-conscious when I play this little instrument, you know. And then the self-consciousness makes me play worse. And then that makes me more self-conscious. And then I end up tripping myself out. And then seeing you friends still being like, yeah, wow, warms my heart. The kalimba is such a nice sound, so gentle, you know. It's like getting to say something with a voice much more gentle than mine. I do believe my voice is gentle. I try to make it gentle, right? Calming myself down after all. But the kalimba has such a gentle way to it. I really appreciate the little instrument. Thank you, friends, for appreciating it with me. Love you, Melty. Love you again. Love, 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 love. Birds digging kalimba too. They were kind of like screaming their little lungs out. The doggos were up in arms as well. Mom is coming back right now, getting me in the tears. Same. Thank you, Mel. Thank you. Thank you, friends. Always, always. I'll echo it back to you, right? I just made some sounds. You friends offered your consciousness. Self-regulated, right? Your consciousness instead of being like, nah, peace out. You know, I have better things to do. Thank you, friends, for being willing to sit with me as we play some kalimba. I'm gonna do like a single shuffle. My cards are getting wrecked. My little casings are splitting. They are like going on 4 years old right now, so I guess it shouldn't be too surprising. It still breaks my heart a little bit. I'm gonna down the brightness a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Like, I don't actually like wearing sunscreen because it adds like a layer of stuff on the surface of my skin. I know that that layer of stuff is good for me, giving me some sun protection after all, but still, we're not, they're not direct, just lovingly used. Like, let me show you what I mean. Like, I shouldn't, you know what? Like, of course, this is the card I pick up first. Card number 44. This is the card we're supposed to pull, but I don't know if you can see it. Here you can see it more. The second card is Healing Earth. Like, that is basically it separating. So when I shuffle them, they get hooked on each other. That's why I'm not allowed to shuffle cards. I ruin them, yeah. Yeah. Well, if I didn't shuffle the cards, I wouldn't have had this card right up top, you know, and I wouldn't be able to trip myself out about card number 44 being pulled today. Day 88, oh, pulled card 44. Spiraling into love. Spiraling into love. I feel like that's what was happening, you know, with you friends sending me lovin's as well. Just getting spiraled into love. And then, you know, I'm like, okay, I have my bearings. And then you're like, oh yeah? You think you got your bearings? Get spiraled. Oh, getting lost again. And then I was like, okay, I'm back. I'm not lost anymore. And you're like, oh yeah? More. Okay, one more time. I know this card has like sexual energy to it, but it doesn't have to be. It's an embrace. Think of it as a loving embrace, hugging someone, passionately so. Card number 44. Intimacy and communication. This was yesterday's fractal as well, in part. You know, I feel like it's bleeding into today's energy still. Intimacy and communication. Into me, I see, and communication. I've been communicating to you, friends, you know, the lack of intimacy I've been feeling. So, even more fractals. Let's go. The spiral helix of our DNA swirls around this sacred couple. This, me and you, technically also a couple, right? Maybe not a conventional one, but still Melt, me, and you friends being more, and Melt more being the entity we create by showing up together, self-regulating ourselves into this moment, right? swirls around this sacred couple and quickens communication of their intimacy. Human DNA helps connect us to a web of creation. It holds ancestral knowledge as well as future potential in a vast library of information. Also, swirling around this couple are spirals of possibility that they have only to recognize in order to activate. As they experience both human sexuality and universal love, this information stimulates their conscious decision to communicate with genuine intimacy. There are many styles of communication. Simple words may be effective for making a statement or providing instructions. However, when concepts and emotions enter the exchange, words often fail to convey the message intended. This card asks you to view the way you communicate. Do you speak from your heart with respect and serenity? Do you truly listen to the people with whom you are speaking? Resolve to look into the eyes of the person with whom you are communicating and observe. Recognize the marvelous being that stands or sits before you. Observe both your own and the other's body language and feel their essence. Listen with discernment before you respond. Formulate your words as if they are prayers wanting to be shared. Formulate your words as if they are prayers wanting to be shared. Exactly. With gentle grace and positive intent, speak your truth in the most intimate way you are able to. Yo. I love this card. Every single time I pull it, it's such a cool one. Spiraling into love. Actively spiraling into love day after day after day. Deepening our connection to the infinity, right? That I do believe that God is love, that your consciousness in this moment showed up for love, right? Doesn't arise if not for love. There's nothing to have other than love. The only winning is love. What I see, what you mean. Yeah, it's okay. Intimacy. Into me, I see so much love. Thank you, friends, for loving me, for spiraling ever deeper with me into these moments, for learning, for discerning, for being such cool beings. I feel even if I tried, to construct for myself the perfect life, if I had like all the building blocks to build for myself something that I would be satisfied with, I don't think I'd be able to do it as well. Every single one of you friends, a conscious entity choosing to show up, to share lovingly. I appreciate it more than I can say. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being amazing. Thank you, dear friend. Have the most beautifulest day, everyone. I for really, really love you all so, super, duper, tremendously, gigantically, mega, massively, dearly. Mel, and all of you absolutely gorgeous friends. Love you, dear Shan. Thank you for joining us as well. It is 44 minutes past right now, and it's 17:44 for me. So sending Shan love as well. My battery percentage is on 67%, so it was like almost a 66. I could have fudged the numbers a little bit. Be like, oh, it's like basically 66%. Card 44, 11, 44 at 55%. Thank you, friends, for being present in this moment of serendipity. Love is true. Love is true. Oh, how about that, Shan? So I could have, fudged the numbers, and then we wouldn't have this synchronous moment. Thank you, friends, for synchronizing with me again. Until we do this tomorrow. Love you so dearly. Until we do this again. Goodbye, everybody.